Hello and welcome to Maggie Mumbles. My name is Maggie, and on this channel I mumble about witchcraft, spirituality, and personal development. Now, I don't know what possessed me to watch The Bachelor. Something did, and there was a witch. I have hardly ever watched The Bachelor. When I was living in Portland, I actually watched part of a season of The Bachelorette with a group of friends that got together every week and watched it together, and we drank and made cookies and did fun girl stuff together while watching this TV series. And it wasn't really about the show, it was more about being together as friends. And since then, and before that, I never watched the show or had any interest in it. It was the first thing suggested to me on Hulu, and I said, what the heck? And it must have been divinely guided, because here we are with a witch on the episode. So I'm going to react to it. The quality of it is not great. I had to actually point my camera at the screen and record it that way. Silly way to do this, but Hulu has some system set up where you can't screen record it, which makes sense. You're not paying for the actual piece of content, you're paying to basically rent or borrow that content. So I get why they wouldn't want you to record it, but according to the fair use, I am allowed to use some portion of any content and react to it and talk about it. So that's what we're doing today. Hopefully it doesn't get copyright struck.
Today's gonna be fun. We have a group date in Estonia. It's the first group date since I was 6.
Okay, I also, just before we get into it, I did get invested in this season, so I do have a lot of opinions already, not related to witchcraft. I think Zach is a terrible choice. I do not like him as a bachelor. All of these women are way too good for him, but that's just my 2 cents. Let me know your thoughts about Bachelor in general, whether you like or dislike it as a show, or these particular contestants and Bachelor for this season.
And now we're back at it. Hello! I'm beyond excited to actually see them in person, spend the day with them.
For some context, he got COVID in the previous episode. They had to do a whole thing where he had like a Zoom call with them instead of group dates and one-on-one conversations and things like that. So this is the first time they've seen him since that. And so that's part of this dynamic. But again, that doesn't have anything to do with witchcraft.
I told him I didn't think I could. Hey, you did it! My body will not do that.
With the week taken away from us last week, I want to make the most of the moments, and I just really hope that today is magical. I also want it to be an opportunity for us to progress a relationship, and so...
Estonia is beautiful. Some of the other shots of around the town, the buildings are gorgeous, and this nature part is so beautiful. It makes me really want to go there.
Today we are tapping into a little bit of the more unusual Estonian culture.
Ah, for once a woman I can relate to on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, a witch.
I'm kind of scared. Allie, are you scared?
You're a little scared.
Allie doesn't like scary.
Why would you be scared? She's just a lady pounding on a drum around a fire. There's nothing scary there.
Thanks. Just go.
Get ready.
I'm excited.
Excited? Hello.
Hello. Hi. Welcome to Estonia. I'm Heli. I'm Estonian Witch. I'm Grand Witch, and I
What is with that face? Why is she shocked? She's clearly a witch. I don't know why you'd be shocked about that.
use witchcraft more than 20 years, and my job is help people, sometimes to heal people, sometimes to find love. I invite you all to create one circle around this fireplace. And today we will see who is ready to find love. So
I do think this is a little bit staged, because obviously this show is gonna be staged to fit the narrative that the story that they're trying to tell. There are professional witches who do things like this, casting spells to help people heal from past heartbreaks or emotional trauma and things like that, also to help people find love. I think the idea that she's going to discover which one is ready to find love is a little bit iffy and set for this specific situation because that's what the story is of this show. But they are starting the ritual of finding love by creating a circle around the fire, which is a common start of a ritual, especially in a group ritual. Creating a circle, inviting the energy into that space, into that circle that you've created, concentrating it so that you can start to use that energy for whatever the magic is that you're trying to do. And in this case, to figure out who's ready for love.
With a witch, but she's a healing witch. So
I like how she had to qualify that they're going to work with a witch, but she's a healing witch, so it's okay.
She helps heal people and eliminate negative vibes.
Gotta eliminate the negative vibes. But here, this is the opening circle of the ritual that I mentioned. They are creating a sacred space in order to do the ritual.
Ava meel, ava süda, ava hing, armastuse tee.
There was some negative energy before this date with Brooklyn, so I just hope today is still a progression forward with Zach. I'm not allowed.
So a little bit more context. There were bad vibes before the date started because one girl was getting a one-on-one. That's kind of the dynamics of this show, is that there's like group dates, there's one-on-one dates, and they get the opportunity to spend time with the bachelor or the bachelorette. One of the women had a one-on-one, and another woman right before the one who had a one-on-one, I'll just use their names. Charity had a one-on-one with the bachelor, Zach, and when he came to pick her up, Kat said that she wanted to talk to him first, which really took the wind out of the sails for Charity because this was supposed to be her moment, and the other woman, Kat, stole that, and actually they kissed, which, scandalous, I know. It was right before he was going to be spending time with another woman. It probably messed up his head surrounding spending time with Charity when he was supposed to be focused on her. Because of that drama, another woman, Brooklyn, totally called out Kat about it and said that it was totally uncalled for that she did that. And so that is the bad vibes that Kat is referring to now.
Any other outside influences have effect on it.
So, my darlings, white sage is a very, very old plant.
Is white sage native to Estonia? Hold on, I have to do research. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is a case of the common name being used for multiple different plants and the Latin name being different, because the white sage that I'm familiar with is native to southwestern US, particularly the desert regions of like California and Arizona. And so it's kind of surprising that this woman would be using white sage in Estonia, which is in Northern Europe. I'm wondering if this is a common name that people in Europe use to refer to the type of sage that is native to Europe, which is the culinary herbs that you would find in like Italian cooking. Very similar leaf shape, very large, broad leaves, so it could be, and they are like a lighter color, so it could be called white sage also. In my practice, I feel like it's much more ethical to use plants that are native to the area where I live, and so the plants that I use in my witchcraft practice change depending on where I live. When I lived in Portland, I used much different plants than what I use now that I live in Florida. Obviously, those are two completely different ecosystems. They have very different plants that grow natively, so I just use what I can find easily when I'm out and about. or what I can grow easily. I'm going to just assume that this woman is using a sage that is native to her area. I just wanted to bring it up because white sage is considered endangered in the United States, and it's also sacred to Native people who live in that southwest region of the United States. And so if you're not part of that culture, it's usually suggested that you don't use that plant because there are so many other sages to use, and they have a very similar property and ability to cleanse in the same way that white sage would without appropriating a culture that you might not belong to. So she might be practicing cultural appropriation here. I don't know, and I don't want to like accuse her of anything. So we'll just give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she's using a common name, white sage, for a plant that is native to Estonia or to Europe in general. But what they're doing now is using sage. The typical use for sage is to burn a bundle of sage as a cleansing thing. And so that's what we're going to see them doing, is using the smoke from the burning bundle of dried sage leaves to cleanse their aura and themselves as they prepare for the ritual.
Very strong energy to clean in our aura different negative energies, what do we not need anymore. And first step, you clean your ladies.
Okay.
It's okay.
Oh,
it's
yes.
okay.
Yeah. I have never used sage before. I have friends that swear by it.
Do you feel any difference?
I feel so cleansed.
So the fact that they're using this turkey feather as part of this cleansing ritual does suggest to me that they might be participating in cultural appropriation. I don't know enough to know if cleansing rituals around the world all involve the use of a feather to waft that smoke, but from my research and the types of smoke cleansing that I have looked into for the cultures that I actually belong to and where my ancestors are from, which is Scotland and England and Germany, for the most part, those areas of the world, there's not really a feather involved in it. So that is a common tool for smudging, which is a Native American ritual using white sage and a turkey feather. So this does appear to be a little bit of cultural appropriation, and it's really interesting that it has spread to Estonia, which is on the opposite side of the world. But at the same time, when a lot of these practices were emerging in Europe during the occult revival of the mid-20th century, the occult writers and researchers did travel the world and collect all of these different practices from all over and brought them to Europe. And so it does make sense that it would also exist there. I just always kind of assumed it was an American problem, so it's kind of interesting to see it happening with a witch in Estonia as well.
It's very awkward at first, but then once you get past that initial awkwardness, I truly did forget about everything going on around me. What that means. Except for Kat. You can definitely tell there's a little tension.
So this is the woman who called Kat out on her bad behavior. So it's funny that they're having this cleansing ritual after there was this really big blowout, a big issue arose between two people. So they're using this sage to kind of cleanse that negativity. Brooklyn is this woman's name. She doesn't seem to think that the saging is going to work for Kat.
But I'm good. I mean, she knows that what she did was wrong, so there's not enough sage in the world to cleanse Kat. If she was sage herself, still wouldn't help.
This is fire element. One by one, look into your eyes through the flame. This is very strong inner to growing your love.
This is a really interesting ritual that I would like to try with my husband. It's like gazing through this fire element into the eyes of a person that you want to develop a loving relationship with. Sometimes for people, eye contact is a challenging thing. Gazing through the fire kind of gives you a little bit of a buffer while still being able to create that connection. And also the fact that the fire element is related to passions. I feel like this is a really interesting ritual for enhancing the passions between two people who want to establish a loving relationship. So I think this is a really good idea, and I think I might try it. I also like the idea of using the candle because while the flame is the fire element, something I like to talk about a lot is that candles actually hold all of the elements in one when they're lit. So you have the wax that is, you know, solid, that's the earth element, the melted wax is the water element, and then the smoke is the air element. So she's just talked about the flame, which I do think is a really important part of this ritual, but I also like the idea of having all of these other elements involved as well, and kind of incorporate that balance that is required for a love relationship, that there is stability and security with the earth element, that there's an emotional aspect with the water element, and that there's really good communication with the air element.
I'm anxious because the pressure is on.
One lady? This first? Yes.
I have been confused with why we haven't had a one-on-one yet. And it gets in my head that I'm behind. So now I'm trying my best to be more vulnerable and see where that could take us.
You need to look through the flame. Open your heart. Feel inner.
Okay, I actually really like this woman. There's a few that I really like, but this is one of my favorites. I think her name is Katie. I think she's way too good for Zach because I don't think Zach is that great. Every time that somebody's brought up any sort of issue with him, he's like, I think it's time for you to go. I'm not a big fan of Zach, but I do really like Katie, and I think that you can kind of see that they do have a connection as they look through the candle, so that's nice.
Love.
I'm just trying not to get in my head, but like this is hard because everyone's connection with him is just growing and I'm not there yet.
Save this moment.
It's been so hard for me to open up my heart to another man, but just to like look into his eyes, it was a different way of connecting with him, and I've never connected with somebody on that intimate level before, so I thought it was really special.
Feel your heart.
I also really like Gabby. I think she's really cute, so she's also too good for Zach, but she's one of my favorites as well.
I feel really positive vibes right now. You really are looking into like someone else's eyes, and so it is like a very deep moment.
Look through the flame.
I mean, nothing prepared me to date a man that's dating other women too, and I'm like trying hard to stay strong and like fight this insecurity.
I think that's what's so horrible about this show. I get that it's a competition and that it's for entertainment, but it's like, how can you be forming all of these connections and trying to help people feel secure in a relationship while you're also really creating a lot of insecurity in the relationship because you don't really know where you stand and you're ranking yourself against these other women. So that's kind of why I don't watch this show, is it makes me feel really uncomfortable. This girl in particular, this is Jess, and I feel like she is really illustrating how the structure of the relationship, that like earth element base of it, is not very secure. You're in this really insecure situation, not knowing where you are.
The next one? Yes.
But I'm a hopeless romantic, and I do believe like if Zach and I are meant to be together, like that will happen.
Oops. I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh no, that's going to feel like a sign. Like, it's hard to not take that as a sign when this flame that is supposed to represent your spark between two people who are supposed to be falling in love and the wind blows it out. I would definitely take that as a sign, and I feel really bad because she already just expressed that she has these insecurities and then nature is confirming them. That must just feel really horrible.
Thank you.
This sucks. I don't even know how to even explain it. My confidence is just something that I've been like struggling with. And I'm trying to like push through it and stay strong.
Oh, that is just so sad. I feel so bad for her. This show sucks.
To you, Zach, maybe today you are a little bit closer to find your real love. Thank you.
I think tonight.
So I think that little thing that the witch said at the very end. I think she said her name was Haley or Helly or something like that. I didn't quite catch it with her accent, but she said that maybe you feel like you're a little bit closer to finding love. And again, that's what this show is supposed to be about. Zach is supposed to be looking for somebody to spend his life with. That's what he wants, and that's what he's looking for, somebody who also wants that. And so the ritual that they did, the spell that they cast together right now, was to help him see that in someone else through this candle gazing ritual, and also for somebody else to realize that about him. And so, I mean, it kind of worked with this thing that happened with Jess where the candle was blown out, and I'm sure that they could kind of sense with each other all of the different pairings. Zach with each of these women could sense while they were gazing into each other's eyes if there was a spark there. So I think that's what this ritual is really supposed to do, is reveal whether or not there was love or a connection being formed.
There's a lot of pressure in our conversation. Thank you. I mean, I feel like I've been growing here and I've been like taking those steps, so I don't want to like backtrack because he doesn't see that.
I just wanted to talk about this episode because I watched it and it had a witch in it, and I did think it was pretty interesting. Let me know what you thought as well, what you think about this type of reality TV show, The Bachelor or The Bachelorette or any of the spin-off shows. If you're watching this season, what you think about the characters. As I said, I got very invested in this season. Let me know what your thoughts about that, what you thought about this ritual that they did, if it felt like something you want to try, this candle gazing ritual. See if there's a spark between you and somebody else, or just see who's open for love. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this video till the end. I hope you enjoyed watching it with me. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more videos about witchcraft, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!